This is how to calibrate your pendulum. I just brought a new pendulum home and I'm gonna calibrate it real quick. So first things first, you're gonna wanna cleanse it with some type of either smudge, I like Palo Santo, or what you can do if you don't wanna use smoke, you can also just imagine a glowing white light coming from your palm, resonating and enveloping the pendulum, or envision a glowing white light coming out of the center of the pendulum, whatever resonates with you, and just imagine that light is very, very, very deeply cleansing and shaking off all the old energy and filling it up with yours. Now, step 2, and I recommend doing this before every pendulum reading, we're going to establish our answers. So first I'm going to tell my pendulum, after I'm holding it steady, which I usually brace my elbow to kind of make sure that my hand is steady, but I'm going to say, show me a yes. What does a yes look like? So as you can see, well, maybe not because it's facing me, mine's moving in circles and it's specifically going to the left, or I guess you could say counterclockwise. So now I know that a yes is a counterclockwise circle. Now that I've reset my pendulum, I'm going to say, okay, show me a no. So this is pretty standard for me. My no's tend to be just still, like it's not moving at all. That was me shifting just now. But now I know that a no is completely still. That's a no. And now I'm going to say, show me a maybe. And I'm not trying to think of moving it in any way. I'm just trying to focus on the energy of my question, which is, what does a maybe look like? And as I think about that, it moves. And in this case, a maybe is back and forth. Now I do this before every reading, and it's so interesting that for different people I read for, these can look totally different. Sometimes a yes for someone is diagonal and their maybe is completely still. Sometimes yes is one way circle, no is the other. This is your unique flavor of energy working through the pendulum, and it's really cool. So don't try to control it. It's also okay if, like, reading by reading, it turns out a little different. So the final step to calibrating your pendulum is we're going to ask it some test questions that we already know the answer to. And the trick to this is just trying not to think about the answer, trying to think about the question as if you genuinely don't know. So for example, I would say, is my name Rain? We got a yes. That's a circle counterclockwise. That's consistent. Now I'm going to say, is my name St. Charles III? No, that is not my name. Is the Omnist ulcer going to be the biggest success there ever was? Wow, that's so nice of you to give me a yes. I knew I liked you when I brought you home from the store. I thought that was going to be a maybe. Anyway, keep doing these kinds of questions till you feel like you've established a baseline. I recommend 3 yeses and 3 nos, just to make sure that it's calibrated properly. And if your answers are consistent, then you know you've correctly calibrated your pendulum and you're ready to do a reading. I hope this was helpful. And if you enjoy my stuff, please check out my website, theomnistaltar.com. I'm also on YouTube. I do guided meditations and stuff. And I really hope I get to interact with y'all more. So feel free to drop any more questions that you have in the comments. I'd love to help.